I'm gonna just record to the computer and then I'll put it on like YouTube or something.
Okay.
Perfect. So let me pull up. I mean, I guess kind of where do you want to start? Should we? I kind of want to just make this more personalized rather than kind of going through like a classroom type thing.
Yeah.
So, I thought, yeah, let's start with sharing your screen and then actually having you walk through doing an invoice.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna request desktop control. And then there should be a button to approve.
Well, but this is on my personal computer.
Oh, okay.
So is there a way that, because there's no video, but I guess
we actually don't really need video. So if you want to join from one of the computers, yeah. I'll just have two. Cool.
Okay.
So, all right, perfect. So then I will.
So I'm just gonna close my personal computer because we don't really want.
Well, I don't know, is the audio, we might, if you close your personal computer and the audio doesn't work, just give me a call on my cell phone.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'll just leave them both on.
Okay. I'm going to request desktop control from user. Cool. Alrighty. So, yeah, so let's just start. So, do you have like a paper invoice or have you scanned it yet?
Well, I have, like, I could show you. Here, let me show you.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. They come to your email.
I think Rachel just sent me one. Oh, wait, let me see. Or I could go down to, well, here, Mandy sent me this one.
Okay, perfect.
So
yeah, if you click on download.
Okay.
Perfect. So see in the top right corner when you move the mouse, the little overlay thing pops down.
Wait, where?
So if you move your mouse a little bit up to like towards the top right corner. Yeah, and then see that, I think it's the middle one. Say download. It's already downloaded though.
Yeah.
Go ahead and hit download. There we go. Okay, yeah. And then here you'll click on M files. It's on the left side towards the bottom of the list. And then DSS, yep. Oh, actually, sorry, if it's an invoice, it's Danco.
Oh.
If it's anything, yeah, so if it's
That's important.
yeah, well, this is, I think, kind of the distinction between them. So if it's financially related and needs to be shared with people at the Danco office, like, you know, AP and stuff, then it will go in the Danco vault. If it's just a document that's shared between people at Momenta, then it would go in the DSS vault.
Oh, okay. So financials go to Danco.
Yeah, financial document stuff would be in Danco. So like accounts payable and check requests. So I set up a check request. I haven't finished the how-to, but I'm going to finish that today and put it in here, and I'll send you an email. But those are the only two things right now that we have set up in Danco. And then everything else would be in DSS. But in this case, we'll choose Danco because it's an invoice. And then it should just be MONSB with no@dancogroup.com.
Oh, wait. I think I spelled it wrong.
And then get rid of the at Danco. Oh.
I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
that at Danco group. Yeah. Yeah, it should work with her password.
Oh wait, I don't know if I know her password.
Let me.
I could probably go ask her.
Yeah. Let me see. I think I might have it. Let me see if this works. And then we might just need to no. Okay, let me try one more.
Yep.
Oh, did that go?
It looks like it did.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. So, I need to, what I'm gonna do, Mandy brought up that we need more licenses. So I'm gonna talk to Laura and see kind of what the plan is there. But what I think I need to do is just take Mandy's license and just change it to be like a DSS admin like username and password so that it kind of be shared between administrative or the people who need more like admin higher level access to files. And then
Okay.
the DSS user is pretty much just for that for that DSS vault so you guys can share documents in there.
Okay.
So anyways, I'm just gonna write that down so I'll do it later, but we'll just continue working on this way. Okay. So at this point, you can go ahead and hit save. So once you're in the document vault, yeah. And then the card should pop up.
There we go.
And then in the class, you're just going to start typing invoice. And then your options pop up. So it's going to be the invoice DSS.
Okay.
And then it will change the questions on the card. So then the attention to will go to Cindy, just whoever is our accounts payable. And then the vendor would be whoever, it came from. So probably lifestyle.
Yeah. Oops.
So is it a new vendor by chance?
Yeah, I think it's just, it was a publication, it looks like, for our advertising.
Yeah. So it's going to take a little while for us, I think, to probably build up the the database of vendors.
Yeah, I do have that on my tasks list. I'm gonna create a list and I'll get that.
Yeah. So I'll add them in really quick. But what this list, so this is a drop down list of all the data vendors in our database. So it's actually, well, I guess that's everybody with, well, not a ton of yet. So if they're not in our database yet, we can't select them from in files. We can't add new ones through here.
Okay.
So I'm just going to add them really quick, but usually when you get a new invoice and if they're not in this vendor list, we would just kind of pause and then wait to enter in the invoice until after. There is a way you could enter in everything but the vendor, and then you could go and find it later in files. But right now, let's just, if you get one and it doesn't have the vendor in there, just go ahead and hit cancel, go through the process to add a vendor, and then put it in files after the vendor's been added.
Okay, and you'll show me how to add a vendor?
You would just send an email to Kira,
Oh, okay.
and I think who else adds vendors? You could, you know, do Kira, myself, and Catherine. I think we're all set up to add vendors, so you know we should be able to answer that in like a couple hours
Okay.
between the three of us. Because we want to get them, you know, we don't want to, you know, a lot of people to wait because it's kind of a quick thing that just should be done. My desktop would open. Add that. So are they, you know, if they're, let's see, can I get this to come forward? Oh, they're an LLC. I think we need to get their tax ID number. I guess it's been a while since I've added somebody. Oh, on the database. If they perform, so would this be like a material thing that they did for us?
Yeah.
Okay, so I
It looks
think,
like a half a page. So this was like a little local magazine where we did a little ad.
yeah. I wonder, I think maybe you don't have to have their tax ID for that, only if they're supplying services.
Yeah, and this would be a one-time thing because I don't think that we'll, I mean, I think unless Erin has a different plan,
Yeah,
you know, that would be her.
yeah.
Because, oh, you know, and I mean, it looks like because her name's on it that she would be the one that
Oh, yeah, she was probably the one who ordered it.
approved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go wife. No email. Okay, so if they're 1099 vendor, rent, royalty, other income, federal tax withheld, fishing boat proceeds, medical and healthcare payments, non-employee compensation. Okay, I don't think it falls under any of these, so we'll say no. Okay, then we'll save, and then we'll just refresh this real quick. Oh, whoops. Okay, cool. So now we should be able to continue and go ahead and fill in the vendor. And then the invoice number. Yeah, so it's that, yeah, you got it.
June 22nd, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So payment due date too is kind of something new we added. If you have a date that it has to be paid by, like if there's if you know that we're going to get a penalty if it's more than 30 days late or something, then you'd want to fill this in. But if it's just general 30-day terms, it's not absolutely necessary.
Okay.
But generally, I would just put 30 days after the invoice date. Either way. Okay, so then when you get to the tasking, this is where you hit the plus with the box around it. So what we do here is this is where you're going to enter in each sub account and then the dollar amount you want to go to it. Since this is kind of just one thing, marketing, it's probably just going to have one expense account and sub account combination. So the entire $750 would go to it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the one, yeah, the sub account.
And that would be.
You could go ahead and do the drop down, and then it will tell you the list of options. So it's like the department and service.
Okay, I think
marketing would be corporate.
Okay.
Would be my guess, but it's something that they kind of set when they do the budgets at the the beginning of the year or the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then line item amount would just be $750?
Yeah, would be the total amount.
And then if there was like a couple, I would just have to do each line item separate.
Exactly. So if there was a couple, yeah, this one would be like maybe $400 or 100 line item, and then you'd and then when you're done, you click create here at the bottom, and that'll put the item in the DSS tasking. So then you've tasked the marketing corporate.
Okay.
And the box below, you would click in there and then click the plus to add another one. So you adding,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. It would be, so you could add multiple lines, and then the plus with the square brings up that new window.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Cool. Very nice.
Cool.
And so when that's done, then you just hit create.
And what kind of like additional notes? Would I just, if I had to explain anything, or?
Yeah, if there was anything, special about this, like, pay $500 now and then pay $500, in after they've completed the work or something, or, any kind of just special notes that you'd want Cindy to know before paying it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then what do I hit now?
Create.
Oh.
Bottom, yep. And so then, so that's done. That's all you need to do. It will send a notification to, actually it goes to Laura next. And then once she approves it, then it sends a notification to Cindy that she has one to pay.
Okay.
So, but I also want to show you now how to look up that invoice that you just put in. So say a week's gone by, Lifestyle calls you up and they kind of are curious about their payment, or you're curious of if it's been paid yet or not, or entered in the system.
Well, yeah, and especially as I get introduced to this, because now I'm going to go back, and if I find old invoices, I just want that I've emailed to Cindy already. I just want to make sure that, she may have put them into M files, so we might double up for just like this week while I clean up.
Yeah,
where I'm at.
I don't think she's putting them in this way. I think if she receives them directly, she bypasses the in files part. Although I don't know what she's been doing specifically for DSS. I just know that's how she does it for Danco and Western Living. But anyways, we can go. We'll find out right now, actually. So
okay, perfect.
yeah. So to see the invoices that you put in, if you open up the InFiles window, the main window, I think it's at the bottom. Open.
Oh wait, sorry, somebody just opened my door. So
yeah.
Here?
Yep.
No. Okay.
Then click that window. Yeah, perfect. So so cool. We're in the DSS vault, so you can navigate to the Danco vault if you like along the top. You can't see me pointing at my screen, of course. I'm just gonna move the mouse. So to switch between vaults, you'd come up here and click InFiles right here.
Okay.
And then it'll take you back to where you can switch between DSS and Danco.
Okay, perfect.
And additionally, too, sometimes you could have multiple windows open. So if you wanted to keep this DSS, so if you wanted to keep this window open because you're going to come back to it later, if you right-click on the M down here, you can open up a new one on Explore InFiles.
Okay, perfect.
So two different ways to kind of go through it. And so then we can open the Danco vault, and I'll let you take control again. Oh.
There we go.
Yeah. And, oh, Mandy has access to lots, but yeah. So the invoice, so that's one way, is it will be in your recently accessed by me. But if it gets to be like a couple weeks and you guys are using it a lot, it can flush out of there. So so where you can always find them is on the left-hand side with it has the whole list of things. Yeah, there's AP up towards the top. Yeah, just that AP right in the middle. Yep. And so that's where all the account payable files are. And so this is the workflow that it goes through. So when you save it, what it does is it enters it in as a new invoice. And then if you filled out all the, if you filled out everything correctly, like there's no missing information, like you didn't forget to put in the invoice number or the dollar amount, then it's going to go to waiting for Laura Barrett or LB approval. If there was anything that you forgot to fill out, like you know, then it will be go back into waiting for the PM approval or the project manager approval.
Okay.
So this one, since we've entered it correctly, it should be in the waiting for LB approval. But you can go ahead and click on that. And then DSS. And then there, oh, that first one's probably one I was testing.
Okay.
So, yeah. So then there's the invoice. So you can see that, you know, if they call you up and they're like, well, where's our money? Then you could be like, oh, well, it's still waiting for Laura to approve it. So then, you know, you can call Laura and be like, approve my invoice, so to get paid, essentially.
Okay.
So, yeah, so this one is the one I think I did last week during the training. So it doesn't look like there's anything else in here. I don't know if Cindy's been putting them in. It doesn't look like it.
So what does that mean? Does that mean I have to go, like, what do I do from here? Like,
how do you see those ones?
Like, if should I have put any invoices in here and then she'll just know if she's already paid them?
Yeah, she'll so when she enters them into our accounting system, it will tell her if there's a duplicate. Let's see if she has anything in paid. Yeah, no. Let's see, I don't think they'd go to the, yeah. Although, Okay, so so once a check gets cut, what she does is she takes that entire check batch and saves it. So I mean, she'll know what it she'll know like not to duplicate, so it'll warn her if she's going to enter a duplicate. And then if you do for any reason need to see one that's gone out already, one that's already been paid, there is this AP and then it's checks/paid invoices.
Okay.
So your invoices will individually go through this process, and then it will end up in paid and it will sit there forever. But if you want to see the check, you actually want to see the check and the backup for that check, so which would be the invoice in most cases. Then you would go to this checks paid invoices and then DSS. And these are actually all of the checks that Cindy has cut, whether they go through M-Files or not.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then these are the vendors, obviously.
Oh, Creative Awake. Oh, this is helpful, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And then I'll just be able to follow. Okay.
Yeah. So you should be able to follow the invoices through here. Additionally, so that one, if you know, so what was it called again? Lifestyle publications. So additionally, if you don't want to go searching through each folder, you could just type in lifestyle invoice.
Okay.
And it should pop up at the top, depending on how many things have the word lifestyle and invoice inside the document.
Okay.
But and then you can see down here, it tells you where it is. So it's waiting for Laura's approval.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple ways.
Okay. Awesome. I mean, I think even with just this little bit, I could like go through and enter everything that's on my desk, which I think Cindy has probably paid most of these because I sent them to her and Laura approved. And
yeah, it's good practice though too. So and you could put that in the notes. Just say, I might have I think I sent this to Cindy already.
Okay.
Please double check.
Okay.
And then that way they know, because Cindy can be, sometimes she'll be like, oh, you sent me another one. That must mean you want me to pay it again, when, really, no, I'm just checking to make sure that I didn't forget it. So putting that in the note would probably be good so you don't get that phone call.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, that should get you going for a while, and you did pretty good too. I like that you did, you kind of knew the DSS tasking part. That's the trickiest, I think, is having to.
Yeah, and I have all those numbers right here at my desk.
Cool.
And so I think, and then I did that check request form and kind of guessed, and then Laura got back to me and said that it was right. So
nice. Oh yeah, yeah.
So at least I mean, Mandy kind of was like, I think this is right. So yeah, I think we figured it out.
Cool. So I actually also, if you feel comfortable with this, I'll show you. So we created something in M-Files. We use it for, well, mostly development uses it, but sometimes Western Living. But we also have a way you can enter in check requests through M-Files, and it'll do the same kind of thing. It'll put it through an approval process.
Oh, perfect.
Automatically and let you track it. Although I don't know if we have the tracking yet. This is what I'm still working on. But it's also in the Danco vault because it's your financial. Yeah. And then what you do is you just you click this create or this plus button, And I'll let you drive, actually. I think that kind of helps solidify, but yeah. And I'm going to send you a how-to document for this. So this is just kind of like a preview.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So if you click the create, and then in the middle, there's a document. Yeah. And then so here, if you start typing check request, and then select the DSS.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. And then there's it actually pops up here with a template. So if you just double click on that, then it has you fill out this card, which is essentially everything on the check request. So let's go ahead and just fill it out with some dummy information. And then this is the same concept. So if they're not a vendor in SL yet, then they won't be in this list, and you have to, do the vendor request first. But go ahead and hit the drop down and just select anyone. Yeah. Probably Zoom stuff in the way. And then this attention is actually the attention you want on the checks, like when you mail the envelope. So if the vendor is that publication people, but it should be attention to Sarah or something.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, it did say attention somebody on there.
Yeah, yeah. And then address, just put in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, isn't, yeah, next one down.
Oh, whoops.
No worries. And I just want to show you kind of how this stuff will then fill out on that check request sheet automatically.
Oops, spelled it wrong, but
that's all right. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then mail or return. So this is kind of more relevant for our office, but yeah, most of the time you're probably just going to want to have her mail it directly to the person receiving the check. Sometimes people want it to be mailed to them, so then they can then take it to the person that they're giving it to.
Yeah, I might want that sometimes just so I can see and then just say like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, and yeah, you kind of get that personal touch, especially with big checks and stuff, and depending on who the customer is. But yeah, so you would pick either one of those. And then in this description, just put in just this is a test, just in case anybody comes across it. And then you would also task it here. So this one doesn't have the line item. So I wasn't sure if you guys would have a lot of checks requests that would have multiple, expense accounts.
Probably not.
Yeah, if it does in the future, then we can add it. But what you could just do in the meantime is just write it in the description, like account 5800 or something.
Okay.
But it would be in where we wrote this is a test.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Normally in the description, you could write what the check is for, like check for, such and such. But again, that description is just kind of like a notes to Cindy or whoever's approving it. Anyway, so if you do find that you guys are using multiple expense accounts, we could just change this to use that, like the check request one. But in the meantime, let's try it out this way, just to make it simpler.
Okay.
But yeah, you would just pick the expense account. So like if it were marketing, salaries and wages, yeah.
I mean, that's okay if I just kind of.
Yeah, it's just a test, so we can put in whatever. And then the sub account. Yeah. And the amount for the check.
Oh, whoops. Say 500.
Yep, perfect. And then hit create at the bottom. And then it should open up the Excel sheet. Yep. So then it just fills it all out. You could print it if you want to keep it, but it just saves it in files just like this.
Okay.
And then it'll go through its approval. So this is kind of where it's at right now. I haven't checked if there is. So then when you're done, you would just close this, and it'll ask if you want to save it. So always say yes, and then check it in. Yes, check in.
Okay.
And then it's here in your recently accessed. It's sitting in a workflow called new check request. So this part I'll go into more detail on the how-to because I haven't quite gone all this way. But it should be in. Oh, it's not have check requests. Huh. Maybe there might not be a folder for it, so I think I'll probably have to create a folder. But it'd probably be in all documents.
Okay.
So, yeah. So if you wanted to see the status, we'll just kind of pause because I need to still create that. But it'll be here in this AP.
Okay.
And then it will probably be down here. It'll just say check request.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I think if I take this and I just kind of play catch up with my current invoices, and then I'll reach out to you if I have any questions.
Yeah, sounds great.
But thank you so much for your time.
Well, thanks for being willing to learn and diving in, and yeah. Awesome.
Okay, well, I will let you know if I have any questions. I'll probably work on this either later today or tomorrow for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
And then feel free to text me. Seems to be always the best, so that so.
No, that's good to know.
I
never know if I can bother you guys on your personal phones, like if that's annoying or not. So now I know. That's great.
Yeah. No, it's actually it's my work phone too, so I don't mind at all. Yeah. And even in the evenings too.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Okay, and then I'll let you know. Let me just kind of look at the calendar and talk to Mandy if she wants to jump on the next one, and we'll set up another one so I can just keep moving.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, perfect. Thanks again.
All right, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.